Alright, so if you copied the code and created your index.html file with the code I supplied from CodePen, just send a screenshot so that I can see you have your index.html file loaded with the code I already supplied you. Alright, so here we can see that we have links that are created. So the blog is structured into a header section, not to be confused with head in the tags here, a content section, and a footer section. So the sections that are named accordingly here show you how we organize it. So as you can see, in the footer section is where you have the my links. You can see the H4 is there, right, which gives you the my links here. So from here onwards is the footer section here, right? The part that you see say footer here. So the div IDs will help to explain what all the sections are. That's why the names are important that you give your divs. Why do we put them in so many divs? Because remember, we're going to be styling things by having them in containers. The divs will stand or serve as a container. So if you go back up to the top in the header section here, you can see that the header section here contains everything that says my blog right up to the image. So all of this right here. Okay. Alright, okay. Alright, so I see that one person has loaded the code in Atom so far. So you're going to change the image to one of yours, obviously. So where you have pic.jpg here, so you're going to make sure you add that name that you have it spelled exactly as you have in the folder here. So mine is called pic.jpg, yours should be called me.jpg. So for example, if I rename this to be me.jpg, and I update, you see my image disappears because it's not finding any image file called pic.jpg as you see here, right in the content section here in the middle. Because the name I have is pic.jpg. If I fix the name to what I have it here as it's in the folder here, it's stored as me.jpg. So if I want it to show up, then I'm going to have to fix this name to the current name, and then you see the image reappear. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and do likewise. You're going to make sure that your folder is copied to the folder and it's named me.jpg. And you're going to have that typed up in the image source section here of the content area. After that, you're going to go to the footer section here, and remember the footer section, you can find the name footer in the div that's related to the footer, so you know that you're there. And here are the Twitter links that I chose to use. These are actually my personal links, but you can just find any online just to allow the links to have something clickable that will work. So this would actually take you to the Twitter and Facebook for myself. So you're going to put in the links that correspond to your Twitter, Facebook, or any working one that you can find. So if I open these in an actual browser so that I can go to the links, I want to be able to do that in an actual browser just for testing. So let's see what happens when I click on Twitter. Well, it goes to Twitter, so we see that's working. And when I click on Facebook, it takes you to my actual Facebook. That's also working. Alright, I'm not seeing the image for some reason. Let me make sure that... Oh, right, it's because the web page is fixed, the HTML is fixed, and I had it as pic.jpg. So let me just change that back. Because while the HTML preview in Atom is giving me the results, but this is just a temporary thing here because I'm working on the project right now, but the files I have in my folder are already permanently coded. I'd have to open them to actually change it. So Let me go ahead and refresh this page, and the picker appears. So this is actually opened in Microsoft Edge browser, and you can see the location of the web page here is not an internet address, but a local folder and file on my laptop's hard drive. All right. So yeah, so you'll enter the links for the Twitter and Facebook that you want to link just for testing. And remember, you can just get a working link. So for example, if you went to twitter.com, just as an example, or maybe you could use Google. So Google. Let's see, Jamaica Gleaner Twitter. Just for testing, if you want to use a Twitter for testing. So it's at Jamaica Gleaner. So we could use that. Let's test it out. See if the link works. Alright, and so it takes us to the Gleaner homepage. So you could copy this URL, and when you get to your Atom project, you can just simply insert it here. So even though this is not actually what I want, let me just show you what I do. You just go to the links section here in the footer container, and you replace it with the test link there from Twitter, if you don't want to use your personal link or if you don't actually have one. So that's how you do it. Okay, of course I'm going to change it back to my personal Twitter, and you do the similar thing for the Facebook and save it. So that's all we really want to do, is just to learn how to approach editing our code in the Atom editor. Of course, I've given you a head start so that you can get a feel of working on a project, but of course we're going to actually look at how we walk through creating the project step by step. So let me just go ahead and, for the purpose of this, just change this name back. Or we have it there. We have it as there. All right. For additional pages, those pages will be additional HTML files. So as you notice here in the blog folder, the about.html is created. So we'll have something to link to when we click about. So you change this to about me. There's no contact page. If we want to go back to the main page, we click on my blog, it links back to the index.html. So notice that the about page link takes you to another file. You can see the text change here. And if I open this HTML file here, you can see it has different code than the index file. So you're going to open a new tab and create a new HTML file. It's as simple as going File, New File, right? Then you start typing your HTML code. And you save your file afterwards. So I'd save mine here, I'd give it a name. So if I was doing the contact.html, I would say contact.html, right? But we're not going to do that just now. But you're going to go ahead and you're going to create the other page for about. But that's the way that we do it, okay? So we're not going to actually use this page here. So we're not going to save. So once again, this is the about.html, as you can see in the tree structure here. The index.html, and of course we have our image located here. So